Welcome back to the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio. I'm Sean Woodland with Bill Grundler. The fourth and final heat for Jackie, and it is a who's who of CrossFit athletes. The event record is 5 minutes, 4 seconds, 1,000-meter row, 50 thrusters, and 30 pull-ups. If that thing's going to be beating the record, these guys can certainly do it.
You know, Jason Khalipa has the record coming into this overall. I want to see what Rich is going to do. I mean, he's the champ. I want to, you know, everyone's looking, everyone wants to know.
Let's send it down to Rory McKernan with more on this event.
Hey, thanks, guys. You know this last heat is going to be crazy fast. Assume unbroken pull-ups, assume fast and unbroken thrusters. It's all going to come down to the row machine. These guys aren't just gunning for a good time in the event. They want the event record set by Khalipa, and that means they'll have to haul ass here. Don't fool yourself. A short, fast row does not necessarily mean they're going faster. Look for the athletes who have a long, strong, efficient pull. That's where you're going to see success. Guys, Bill, you were number 10 in SoCal on this workout. How'd you do it?
You know, I pretty much knew that I was gunning for Jason Khalipa and all the other big boys out there, but you're right. They got to go hard on the road, but they can't kill themselves on the road. These guys need to be shooting for about a 320 on that 1,000. And then you're right. It is all about unbroken, no missing of any reps, and hammering those pull-ups.
The athletes are on the floor. Let's send it down to PA announcer Travis Bajan for the intros.
Central East, currently in 12th place from the open, in lane 12, from Top Fuel CrossFit, Chris Shimley. In 11th place, from CrossFit 317, in lane 1, Kirk Bachu. Currently in 10th place, from CrossFit Maximus, in lane 11, Chris Walker. 9th place after the open, from Mad City CrossFit, in lane 2, Nick Forey. 8th place from the open, from CrossFit Cadre, in lane 10, 2011 Games athlete, Joe Weigel. In 7th place after the open, CrossFit 614, lane 3, Dave Ulmer. 6th place after the open, your 2010 CrossFit Games champion, lane 9, Graham Holmberg. 5th place after the open, CrossFit 061, also a Games veteran, in lane 4, Nick Urankar. In 4th place after the open, he was 6th in 2011 and 2012. In lane 8, Dan Bailey. In lane 5, from CrossFit Polaris, 3rd place after the open. 7th in 2012, Marcus Hendren. 2nd place, CrossFit Distinction, 4th place at the 2012 Games. Lane 7, Scott Panchik. And in lane 6, your 2011-2012 CrossFit Games champion from CrossFit Mayhem, Rich Froning.
Your starting grid. Keep an eye on lanes 5 through 9. Those men all finished in the top 10 at the 2012 Reebok CrossFit Games, and they're all battling for a return trip to Carson. There's your two-time defending champion, Rich Froning, not only trying to win this event, but also chase down the event record set by Jason Khalipa at the Northern California Regional at 5:04.
You know, Rich did this event 2 years ago at the UFC Expo down in Houston. 5:32 was his time. Everyone that's been doing this time around has been cutting off about 30 seconds or so. So I think Jason's record might be a little shaky there.
And here we go, the final heat of Jackie, the opening event here at the Central East Regional. The time to beat, Dre Strom, pardon me, it is Gerald Sasser, 5 minutes, 17 seconds. Dre Strom had the previous best time at 5:26. The event record, 5 minutes, 4 seconds. Jason Khalipa owns that. But that man, Rich Froning Jr., looking to chase that down.
When you look at Chris Walker, he loves to row, and look at his form. Doesn't have the bandana, he's got the blue knee sleeves on right there. Long stroke. That's going to serve him well in this particular segment of Jackie. You have to get through this row smooth, consistent, and quickly. That right there is going to get the best marking on that computer, and that little computer box is telling you when you get to stop.
And Chris Walker, one of the tallest athletes in the competition, 6'5", 220. A lot of range of motion there for him, but that can certainly help him out on the rower. Marcus Hendren, he's in lane 5. Hendren was one of the unknowns last year, wound up getting into the games. He finished 7th. He's 5'10", 198 pounds. Out of CrossFit Polaris.
I'll tell you what, a farmer. He's a farmer that actually told his dad, guess what, Pa, I got to go and do this competition thing. So he's actually, this is the first time he's been able to do this, to actually physically train for the regionals and for the game. It's going to be really interesting to see how that year of training has been able to help him out.
Rich Froning occupies lane 6. On the left of your screen, another man who made a name for himself last season, Scott Panchik. He finished 4th at the games. And Panchik really came onto the scene when the Open started and proved that he was not a one-hit wonder.
Absolutely, but I want you to see, look at the difference in the rowing techniques here. Look how smooth and consistent Rich is. He's not blowing himself out, a lot longer strokes, whereas Scott's is short and choppy. Not a very efficient stroke at all, and I'll tell you what, that could hurt him when he gets to the thrusters. You need to have the gas for the thrusters and the pull-ups, especially when you're sitting side by side with a champ like that. You cannot blow efficiency, not at this point.
Past the 2-minute mark, the time to beat 5:17, 2010 CrossFit Games champion Graham Holmberg.
The only guy to ever take Rich down. The only man from the planet that's ever had the absolute stubbornness to do so. You know, he's always kind of sitting on the fringe, but I think what he said earlier is that I want to take Rich down. He's like, if you don't think you're not going to take him down, you shouldn't be here. And he wants to take him down.
Yeah. Rich Froning has essentially won every competition that he has entered since winning in 2011. His pace, about 1 minute 40 seconds, and he has about 150 meters left, as all these judges' hands now are in the air, signifying that their athletes have just 250 meters or less left on that initial 1,000-meter row. We approach the 3-minute mark in the 4th and final heat here of the opening event for the men. It's Jackie. They have 6 more events after this over the next 3 days.
Again, these guys they want to come off around 3:20 if they want to get a decent time. You know, again, making sure that the thrusters and the pull-ups are going to be good, but they have to have the 3:30 is going to be too slow for these guys if they're chasing Jason.
And here they go, everybody off the row at the same time. Dan Bailey on the thrusters. Panchik is there, as is Froning. Marcus Hendren, Graham Holmberg, all the athletes done with the row. And it's Dan Bailey right now, about a 1-rep lead over Rich Froning in the middle of your screen.
Now this right here where Dan Bailey's going to have a shot because he's a shorter athlete compared to some of the other ones out there, shorter range of motion. And that may help him in this particular segment, the 50 reps. The longer you are, the taller you are, it's going to hurt you. It's more distance you have to travel. But wow, these guys are going rep for rep with each other.
Joe Weigel in lane 10 is also working his way into the top 3 now, as Rich Froning is in the 3rd spot as this lead keeps bouncing back and forth. But it's Dan Bailey and Joe Weigel now, rep for rep, for the lead.
It's going to come down to the pull-ups, just like we've said before. How much and who's going to be able to stay on that bar? You know all these guys are going to stay on the bar, but it's going to be who's going to have the shortest, the quickest, tightest butterfly pull-up. But you're not going to see strict ones or kicking in this segment.
Yeah, the time to beat belongs to Gerald Sasser for probably about another 30 seconds. As these men all on pace to beat that. The event record is 5:04. Jason Khalipa holds that. And Dan Bailey in lane 8 is on to the pull-ups. Graham Holmberg is there. Scott Panchik, Rich Froning, and Joe Weigel. It's Dan Bailey still in the lead by a rep over Joe Weigel. Rich Froning going through his pull-ups, looking very smooth there. And they're all chasing Dan Bailey, who now is through 16 reps, now 17, now 18 reps for Dan Bailey, as he is going to try and chase down Jason Khalipa at 5:04. 5 to go for Bailey. We got 3 seconds for the event record. 2, 1 second. The event record will not pass, but Dan Bailey
to call.
And now Chris Walker finishing up, Kirk Boxu in lane 1, Chris Shimley. But what a finish. You can tell that these guys all knew exactly what it was going to take to finish first.
They had to do it. They had to do that. You know, if it wasn't for that electronic timing, we would not be able to tell the difference between 509.2 or 509.4. It was just a rush of studly athletes coming into the finish there.
So it was Joseph Weigel unofficially 0.2 of a second faster than Dan Bailey and 0.4 of a second faster than Graham Holmberg.
Insane. That was insane right there.
There was a tie for third between Holmberg and Scott Panchik. They both finished at 509.6. And then Rich Froning, you saw signing his scorecard, finished at 509.8. Your top three, Weigel, Bailey, and then Panchik and Holmberg, both at 509.6. Rich Froning on the thrusters as every athlete got off the rower at about the same time, was able to keep a pretty good pace here.
You know what, the thing about Rich is it's not about winning every event. It's about staying consistent to be in the top three in every event. That's what he's done at the games over the past couple years. But wow, Joe did an unbelievable job through that. He hammered the thrusters and was just relentless on the pull-ups.
Let's go down to Emily Turner, who is with Joe Weigel.
Sean, what a finish. Oh my gosh, that was really fun to watch. I imagine it was awfully fun to win. What was going through your mind in those last seconds looking to the side?
I heard him say Dan was right there. We were about rep for rep on the pull-ups. As soon as I got on the bar, I just wanted to beat him to the mat. I kind of looked over as I was going there, just like, I just got to get there first. And I just tried to get as fast as I could. Your legs don't really move very well after that.
I imagine not. Now, I imagine one of the things that played into this is the fact you were a 2011 Games competitor, didn't make it last year.
Yeah.
How has that hunger affected you going into 2013?
I want it bad. I mean, I want to get there. I want to win. I want to win everything, you know. I'm not just doing this for fun. And I got something to prove this year. And I'm going for it.
And last question, you were the one person we saw with gloves on.
Yeah.
Why'd you wear gloves and did they help you?
Yeah, it's a long weekend. You know, a lot of reps on the hands. Not worth ripping them on the first event. And yeah, I got good grip with them. Felt fine, so I like them.
Well, fantastic finish for you. Good luck with the rest of the weekend. Sean, Bill, back to you.
Thanks, Emily. And if this heat is any indication of what we have in store for us this weekend, it is going to be a lot of fun. Joseph Weigel, 509.2. Not really the guy we thought would be putting up the best time.
You know, look at Rich is sitting down there in 5th place. This is going to be an interesting weekend. Long events to go still, but it's going to be an interesting weekend.
So Weigel with the win. Dan Bailey is in second, and Graham Holmberg and Scott Panchik tied for third. Your overall standings after one event, Joe Weigel, followed by Bailey, Holmberg, and Scott Panchik, the defending champion. Rich Froning sits in 5th place. But we still have 6 events to go. And Rich Froning starting off the defense of his back-to-back CrossFit Games championships. And he's going to have a host of competitors to hold off. More coverage from the Central East Regional in Columbus, Ohio, coming up. Welcome to the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio for our continuing live coverage of the Central East Regional Competition. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler, and we're set for the 4th and final heat of events 2 and 3. And here come the heavy hitters.
And that's the idea right there, heavy hitters. We're going to see some big numbers being thrown up. How many times are they going to be able to get through their sets of 10-pound increments? I'm looking to see. I want to see some people in the 300 pounds on this, 305 in this one.
Defending champion Rich Froning is in this final heat. Rory McKernan caught up with him earlier in the day.
Tell me about that first workout.
Yeah, it's not a good workout for me anyway. So I was happy with the result. I mean, this region's stacked, as we all know. So it's gonna be a fight. It'll be fun though. Good weekend.
So this workout coming up, overhead squat. I know that your Olympic lifts are solid. What are you expecting here?
I'd like to get to 305, but you know, it just kind of depends on the day, depends on how much Jackie took out of you, so we'll see. You've got to make a lot of jumps to get there, so I guess we'll find out.
So event record means not as much to you as just a win in the event.
Yeah, I need to jump a few spots, so we'll be good.
Cool, thank you, champ.
Thanks, Rory. Rich Froning trying to get to 305. That sounds realistic for him.
Now, on the main side, they did a 3-rep overhead max, and he got 305. He actually failed 2 reps at 335. So I expect him to hit the 305 mark. We'll see what it looks like.
Rich Froning in the middle of your screen, joking around with training partner Dan Bailey in the gray shirt. 2 of them will be working next to each other, and both of them, no surprise, they will both be starting with 255 pounds on the bar. Your starting grid, your top 5 athletes were all within a second of each other in the opening event. And those athletes sit in the middle of the floor. Rich Froning, Marcus Hendren, Scott Panchik, Dan Bailey, Joseph Weigel in there as well. He was the winner of Jackie and comes in first place overall. But there are some powerful athletes in this 4th and final heat. Back-to-back events. We start with event number 2. 7 minutes to establish a 3-rep max overhead squat, and then a 2-minute transition. Then we go into event 3, 30 burpee muscle-ups for time. Starting weight here, very important. You have to hit your 3 opening reps. If you don't hit your first 3 reps at your initial weight, you're out of the competition, but I doubt we're going to see this happen in that heat.
You know, in this heat, everyone's going 255 except for 2 people. So, again, the heavy hitters that got to go big, they're going to go big.
4 weights from which to choose: 135, 185, 225, and 255. The score to beat, 295.3. Gerald Sasser owns that.
3, 2, 1, go.
We're underway. 7 minutes for a 3-rep overhead squat max, and it's Rich Froning at 255. And that may as well be an empty bar, Bill.
You know, that's the problem. With the guys that can move this weight easily, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You have to get this weight, and then you can start to play. But you're right, that didn't look difficult by any means for him. But I wouldn't expect that it would at all.
So 255 is now in the bag for Rich Froning, as is Dan Bailey next to him. Bailey at 255, the 2 of them moving on to 265 pounds.
Now in that same video with Rich doing his lifts, saw Dan Bailey only getting 275, so I'm anxious to see how that's going to affect him today.
Nick Forey came in 8th place overall. He hits 3 reps at 255 pounds, and now it's Joseph Weigel, who won Jackie by 0.2 of a second.
Well, then the impressive thing right there is he just pressed that weight up. That's what we call a push press. Usually everyone's got to dip down underneath it. That was all shoulders right there.
Rich Froning on the left at 265. It's no problem for him. Joseph Weigel completing 265. Nick Forey now at 265. Gerald Sasser again has the score to beat after 3 heats, 3 good lifts at 295 pounds. Dave Ulmer at 265 behind Nick Forey.
One of the things that Nick Forey has been wanting to work on over the past year or so has been his strength. So I really want to see if this is one of the things he's been working on. Has it just been Olympic lifts, or has he been doing some heavy overhead squats?
Nick Forey finished 9th in the Central East last year. This guy can back squat 395 pounds.
No big deal. No big deal. But again, this is a really unique movement. A lot of variables go into this. A lot of flexibility, a lot of strength. You know, a lot of midline. It's heavy midline.
Now it's Froning at 275. Dan Bailey next to him looks like he's still on 265. So Froning through 3 reps at 275, no problem for him. Dan Bailey wrapping up his 3rd rep at 265. Right now in this heat, it's Froning and Weigel, your top 2. And a number of athletes behind them at 265. And here's Scott Panchik at 275.
Looks a little shaky down there, trying to beat those speed wobbles, but again, moving the weight just fine. 3 reps done.
Marcus Hendren in the orange next to him. And Graham Holmberg in the white on the top of your screen. They are both at 275 pounds.
You know, you have to be careful in this heat because there's so many big names. You have a lot of guys just kind of slide in without you knowing about it. So can't keep your eye off of anybody. But look at Rich Froning. He just sits at the bottom. That's how stable he is. Look at that. I'll just hang out down here, make sure I'm loaded up, and then I'll come up when I'm ready.
No big deal, making it look easy. Rich Froning at 285 pounds. Now Nick Urankar, he's going for it as well.
You know, he needed to after he had a rough start in Jackie, but he's a strong cat. He needs to get up there as well.
And Urankar was a guy who was on the outside looking in last year. He missed making it to the games by just one spot. Scott Panchik on the 285-pound bar. We're past the halfway point. 7 minutes to find your 3-rep max on an overhead squat.
Scott definitely made a name for himself last year, coming in fourth after, you know, a relative newbie for any CrossFit. But wow, so strong. Look at that.
He struggled with that third one a bit, but was able to stabilize, and that will count. Now it's Froning at 295. So far, Gerald Sasser, the only man to do 3 reps at 295, and I'm guessing that's going to change right here. The event record, Matthew Frazier, 2 good reps at 315 pounds. And Rich Froning, again, you cannot tell the difference between this and his opening lift at 255.
You're right. There's absolutely no difference. I mean, there's no bobbling at all. His butt's not coming up when he's driving up out of the hole. He just looks so solid.
Meanwhile, Dan Bailey at 275 pounds looking a little bit shaky.
Wow, and he's really riding that line on that depth, but the judge is giving it to him.
Bailey gets 3 good reps. Now Froning moving to 305 to try to become the event leader. Joseph Weigel at 295 pounds.
Wow, that looks solid as well.
2 reps down for Weigel. Weigel came in first place overall after winning Jackie and trying to keep pace with Rich Froning on this event. And he is through 295 pounds, so he and Froning have tied Gerald Sasser for the best score of the day, and it looks like Rich Froning about ready to beat that with 2 minutes to go here in the 4th and final heat of event 2, the second of 7 total events here in the Central East Regional Competition.
We were not lying when we said heavy hitters in this heat. The numbers that are going up across the board, the number of people that are doing these numbers is insane compared to all the other regions.
One more for Froning at 305, and he has it. Rich Froning, your new leader. 305 by 3, and now it's Joseph Weigel who's going to look to match the champ. Weigel loading up his bar with 305 pounds.
Wow, these guys have plenty of time left too. There's still, you know, a minute and a half. With the record being 315 for 2, I don't know. I mean, we just heard Rich. He said he, you know, isn't looking for an event record.
He's loading up the bar right now. It looks like he might go after it. Graham Holberg, meanwhile, at 275, the 2010 Games champion. Holberg on that can't lock out the 3rd rep, but he will get credit for 2. 1 minute now to go before we hit the 7-minute time cap. And Joseph Weigel is looking down the floor at Rich Froning. And now Froning at 315, the event record, 315 by 2. And we're looking at that possibly getting beaten right now by the 2-time defending CrossFit Games champion.
Look at that, no hesitation at all. He jumps up and he's instantly solid.
He'll get 1. And it looks like Froning's going to call it a day on the bar, but he right now is your leader. Joe Weigel has 305 on the bar, as does Scott Panchik.
That is a lot of guys throwing up 305 right now. Just heavy hitters. You said it earlier.
10 seconds to go, and it doesn't look like Joe Weigel's going to go after 300 pounds. So Rich Froning will lock up the win in this event. 1 rep at 315 pounds. And now a 2-minute break, and it's on to the burpee muscle-ups. The Gerald Sasser couldn't hang on to his lead in event 2. He will see if he can hang on to it in event 3. He also has the time to beat on the burpee muscle-ups. 4 minutes, 48 seconds. But back to Rich Froning and the work he did. I mean, all these reps looked almost exactly the same.
Textbook. You can tell the strength that he has. I mean, he's a big guy, but just the core strength that he has is insane. Shoulder strength, it's just unbelievable what this kid can do.
Got through 295, no problem. Then he hit 3 at 305. He moved up to 315. Only 1 good rep there, but it is a win for Rich Froning. He got 1. He started to dance it around a little bit. He said, you know what, I'll just take the victory. Let's send it down to Rory McKernan.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a region when I'm looking at 3 barbells over 300 pounds? Amazing. Rich popped that up like it was absolutely nothing. Certainly the champ. here's what's interesting. He took it pretty close to the buzzer. That was not in his game plan. Joe Weigel told me before he was going to get up to 300, assess the situation. He didn't want it to affect his burpee muscle up. So we'll see how Rich can do after putting up 315 pounds for one. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Rory. Rich Froning looking to make a run at Gerald Sasser, who currently has the time to beat at 4:48. Froning will be in lane 6 next to Marcus Hendren and Scott Panchik. Dan Bailey there as well. All of these athletes are guys who can certainly get through this with little trouble. 30 burpee muscle-ups for time. There's a 7-minute time cap on this one. Jackie was so close. You expect the same kind of finish here?
I don't know if I could expect the same finish. What I think is interesting here is that Rich Froning and Dan Bailey, Scott Panchik, take that back. All these guys that have been in the games last year have played with the burpee muscle-up when they did the chipper last year. Of all the splits, Rich had a 127 for the 10, which puts him at about a 421 pace, which is insane, and that's after doing all the movements they had to do beforehand. So I think he's going to do really, really well, even though he pushed it to the buzzer like Rory was talking about earlier.
You know, we just saw Froning going through his burpees. He's not single-legging those things. That's how you usually see a burpee. I don't know if that's going to last, but he's out at a pretty good pace.
You know, again, it's the tempo. He looks solid, but it's not the first 5 reps. It's the last 5 in this particular event where it really comes down to. So if he keeps the tempo, he's going to do just fine.
Yeah, all these athletes pretty much within 1 rep of each other. It's Nick Forey and Dan Bailey along with Kirk Baxu. Graham Holberg's up there as well. He has 7 reps, so Holberg and Forey battling it out for the top spot.
And you can see Graham really throws his rings wide, so he has to sit and wait at the bottom. Granted, that gives him a little time to rest, but you don't have to sit there while this thing is spinning around.
4:48 is the time to beat here. The event record, 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Holberg, 28 years old, at a CrossFit Grandview. He's a hometown hero here in Columbus, and see some large Graham Holberg heads floating around the crowd as well. So he's certainly well represented here.
You know, again, all these athletes have tried this in the past. Earlier this, you know, when they're coming up, they're trying to figure out their game plans. It's just what they did, what you think they're going to do versus what they've done in practice and then what they're going to do here is a big, big, big difference.
Rich Froning currently tied for 2nd place right now. It's Graham Holberg and Dan Bailey and Nick Forey battling out for the top spot. We approach the 2-minute mark. Dan Bailey currently battling Graham Holberg. They're going rep for rep. He's about 1 behind Holberg. Holberg is on the left of your screen. Bailey in the gray in lane number 8. Number 411, the event record here. Kenneth Leverage holds that.
Right there without the shirt, that's Scott Panchik. Now, again, last year at the games, he did his 10 in about 1:51, which would have put him at a 5:33 pace. But in practice, he got a 4:17 on this, standalone with the 30 burpee muscle up. So it's going to be interesting to see where he sits in competitive mode.
Scott Panchik, 4th at the games last year out of Beechwood, Ohio. 25-year-old who certainly has a long career ahead of him in this sport. Lining up right next to Rich Froning, the 2-time defending champion, but it's still Dan Bailey, Graham Holberg, and now Rich Froning on his 20th rep. So Froning starting to put some pressure on the leaders. Dan Bailey is up there. Nick Forey is there as well. Graham Holberg, and now it's Froning and Holberg battling for the top spot. Froning through 22 reps now, and more than a minute to go before we hit that event record mark of 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Kenneth Leverage, the man who holds that. And now Rich Froning maybe trying to reel that score in. Froning is 1 rep ahead of Dan Bailey and continues to keep a steady pace here as we approach the halfway point of this event.
Rich is just not slowing down at all. This is what he does the best. You would think he should be getting tired, and he just keeps on moving. He just doesn't stop.
5 reps to go for the 2-time defending champion. Your event record is 4 minutes, 11 seconds, and Froning trying to catch that right now. 3 reps to go for Rich Froning, and we could be seeing an event record. Dan Bailey and Nick Forey are battling for 2nd, but right now it's all about the 2-time champion who is trying to set an event event record here in event 3. One more rep to go for Froning. He has 8 seconds to go. Down to 6. 5 for Froning. Locking it out. 4 to go. 3, 2, and Froning just beats the event record. Rich Froning, 4:10.8. It's been a day of tenths of seconds, and there you go. The new event record for the 2-time defending CrossFit Games champion.
Again, did not slow down at all. There was no hesitation. He knew exactly where it was. Didn't falter at all on A-Legend. That was impressive.
Graham Holmberg is in. Nick Forey is in. Dan Bailey finishing up. All of these men beating the previous time to beat of 4:48. About 2 minutes to go now before we hit the 7-minute time cap. But there's your winner of back-to-back events. Rich Froning winning event 2 and then setting an event record in event 3.
You know, I will say this, the volume that Rich trains at, that right there where it comes out. Back-to-back events, short time of rest in between, and still be able to just crush each section of that, which he did. That was incredible.
In lane 3, that's Dave Ulmer going through his final burpee muscle-ups. He's at a CrossFit 614 here in Columbus, the 30-year-old. He's right next to Nick Urankar, who Nick is now struggling with his few reps that he's got going. Urankar only through 19 repetitions right now. Less than 90 seconds to go in this event. 1 rep for Dave Ulmer remaining. He will lock that out. Ulmer is done. Stands on his plate. Unofficial time for Dave Ulmer of 5 minutes, 43.7 seconds. There's Joe Weigel, who came into the back-to-back events in first place overall after winning Jackie. He's in the black shirt. Next to him in lane 11 is Chris Walker, the tallest competitor in this competition. Walker standing at 6'5". Joe Weigel is in. Weigel a time of 6:06.3.
I know when he did that in practice as well, he was in the low 5, so it doesn't always work out in practice as you would think it would.
Nick Urankar trying to get through a few more reps here. There's Chris Walker just flopping on the ground and getting up. Hey, it doesn't have to look pretty. You just got to get up and get down.
Exactly. It doesn't have to look pretty. And even as bad as that does look, it's a smart move. He's saving that energy. You know, all you got to do is touch your chest, so whatever it takes. He's got long arms.
15 seconds to go. More athletes finishing up. Walker is now in. It's Kirk Baxu and Nick Urankar, the only 2 athletes left on the floor. 3 seconds to go. Rich Froning congratulating his fellow competitors. So Rich Froning sets an event record with a time of 4:10.8, beating out the previous event record by just 0.2 of a second. Graham Holmberg will finish in second, and it's Nick Forey rounding out the top 3. So Rich Froning, I mean, this was just a steady pace. We talked about mechanical earlier for Gerald Sasser.
You know, look at the way he timed the rings. He had just enough of a swing at the bottom. He went right into his burpee, and as he's jumping up, the ring swung right into his hands. That's called timing. That's practice.
And you know he knew what the event record was as he kept looking at the clock. Let's send it down to Emily Turner with Rich Froning.
All right, so not only are we here with our 2-time Games champion winner, but also you just won back-to-back events. How do you maintain? Because if there are 2 events that are hard to win, it would be these 2 shoulder workouts.
Luckily, I've been blessed with strong shoulders, so that kind of helps. You know, it was like go for the record on the overhead squat or just play it smart. I knew Joe and I knew Pinchik both got 305, so I knew all I needed was 1 rep on 315. So I didn't want to tax myself too much on this because I knew I had a good shot. Maybe not the best time, but I thought I'd have a shot at, you know, beating those guys at that if I would.
Well, so you may not have gotten the event record on that, but you certainly beat the event record on the burpee muscle-ups. Was that something in your head at all? And
no, really. It was just don't die. The burpee muscle-up, you know, at first, it's like, do you want to go too fast or do you want to wait? Or, you know, pace it through and try not to fall off. You know, a lot of those guys started out real fast and then they fell off at the end. So I was just trying to maintain.
Fantastic. Well, great job, Rich. I'm sure we'll see you later on this weekend. Bill, Sean, back to you.
Thank you, Emily. Rich Froning ending up back-to-back wins on the initial day of competition, and he currently sits, surprise, surprise, in first place overall ahead of Scott Panchik and Dan Bailey.
The champ did exactly what the champ is supposed to do, which is come out and dominate, and he did exactly that. So don't let Jackie fool you. That was just, you know, matters of tenths of a second. Now we get into the event, and he's just going to hammer.
3 events down, we have 4 to go in 2 more days, and the 2-time defending champion is setting himself up again for a repeat championship here at the Central East Regional. Rich Froning, he wins event number 2, and he goes on to win event number 3. Can he hang on? A lot of heavy hitters behind him. More coverage tomorrow. For Bill Grundler, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you then.
It is time for the 100s. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio, for our continuing live coverage of the Central East Regional Competition. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler. And Bill, the top athletes in the men's division getting set for what is probably the most grueling event that they will face in these 3 days of competition.
Everyone who's on the floor right now has been preparing for this event. They know how bad this one's going to be. 100 wall balls, 100 chest-to-bar pull-ups, 100 single-leg squats or pistols, and 100 single-arm dumbbell snatch with a 70-pound dumbbell. Heavy volume, 400 reps total, compared to, if you can add up everything else, it's virtually the same amount of volume over the course of the 3 days.
Rory McKernan is on the competition floor and has more on the 100s.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Again, guys, expect to see extremely different strategies going into this. First, the only name in the top 5 we might not have expected to see, Gerald Sasser. He's got extremely planned out workout. He's going to go for sets of 25 on the wall ball. Wants to be done by 4:30. He's going to be doing 15-second intervals on the pull-ups, 10 seconds of work, 5 seconds of rest. So extremely strategized throughout the workout. On the flip side of that, you got Rich Froning Jr. He swears to me he's never done this workout. I don't know if it's a head game, if I buy it. You guys be the judge. Let's check out what happens when those two come together. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Rory. Here's your starting grid. Rich Froning, your overall leader, coming into day 2. He will start in lane number 6. And there's still a battle for those top 3 spots. It's just 16 points separate 8th place from 2nd.
Of course, everyone's talking about Rich taking Jason Khalipa's score, beating his time here. And I'll tell you what, there is no way he has not tried this event. I don't believe it. I think that's a head game. Head game.
The event record is held by Jason Khalipa, 20 minutes, 15 seconds. So Rich Froning will try to chase that down. Let's head down to the floor for Miranda Oldroyd and the introductions.
In lane 12, from Derby City CrossFit, currently in 12th place, Patrick O'Connell. In lane 1, in 11th place, from CrossFit Faith, Matt Hewitt. In lane 11, from CrossFit Maximus, currently in 10th place, Chris Walker. In lane 2, from CrossFit Talon, in 9th place, Will Morad. In lane 10, from CrossFit Polaris, currently in 8th place, Marcus Hendren. In lane 3, from CrossFit Cadre, currently in 7th place, Joe Weigel. In lane 9, from Mad City CrossFit, currently in 6th place overall, Nick Forey. In lane 4, from CrossFit Countdown, currently in 5th place, Gerald Sasser. In lane 8, from CrossFit Mayhem, currently in 4th place overall, Dan Bailey. In lane 5, from CrossFit Grandview, your 2010 CrossFit Games champion, currently in 3rd place, Graham Holmberg. In lane 7, from CrossFit Distinction, currently in 2nd place overall, Scott Panchik. in lane 6 from CrossFit Mayhem, your 2011-2012 champ. In first place once again, Rich Froning.
So there's your field for this fourth and final heat of event number 4, and that man, Gerald Sasser, kind of becoming the Scott Panchik and Marcus Hendren of this year's regional competition, a guy we didn't know much about coming in, but now here he is with the top athletes.
You know, he's in there rubbing shoulders with these big boys, and he has had an unbelievable overall event so far, so I'm really looking forward to see what he does here.
3, 2, 1, go!
The Sasser coming in with 14 points. He's tied with Graham Holmberg and Dan Bailey in the point total, but because of a tiebreak, he's right now on the outside looking in for the top 3. We're off on the 100 wall balls. In the fourth and final heat of event 4, it's the 100s.
The wall balls, you know, these guys have done probably millions of reps, thousands of reps of wall balls in their training. Wall balls are not a big deal for these guys. It's just a kickstart to this whole event. I think for the most part, you'll see the majority of these guys go a nice big chunk at the beginning, probably somewhere around 50, but they're just going to stay nice and calm and relaxed. Look at Rich's face there. He is just relaxed. Up and down, hit the target, make the reps count. Use this as your warm-up into the rest of the event.
Now, this movement for these athletes is probably a minor inconvenience on their way through the rest of the thing. Where we've really seen separation happen is on that pull-up bar. Just because you're first off the wall balls doesn't mean you're going to be first off the pull-up bar.
Yeah, again, you know, this entire workout is all about pacing and setting your rest. Rich right there, I mean, he's two-time champ. Obviously the fittest man around over the last 2 years. He broke that up into 25 reps, so that's relatively conservative. But the pull-ups is where I think we're going to see a lot of shuffling around, you know, until we get into those dumbbells. That's when it's really going to happen.
Rich Froning right now about a couple reps off the lead. Chris Walker is your early leader. No surprise there. He's the tallest competitor in the field. He is 6'5", so not a very short distance for him to throw that ball at the target for Chris Walker, as he's now through 52 reps. Rich Froning in the middle of your screen, the defending champion, and now he's taking a break. Froning got himself through about 50 reps before he decided to put the ball down.
All right, now I want you to look at the difference between what Chris Walker's doing and what Patrick O'Connell's doing. Patrick's keeping his hands up in the air. He's in the black shirt, has hands that stay up the whole time, where Chris and a lot of the other athletes are dropping their hands. They're trying to get that blood back in their fingertips. They know that they're going to be hanging on a bar for a really long time. So get that ball up in the air, drop their hands, let the blood come back down, rest a little bit, and then get their hands back up to catch the ball.
And those are your two leaders. On the left and second, Patrick O'Connell, and then on the right, it was Chris Walker, the tallest athlete. He's through 72 reps. That's Joe Weigel. And there's Gerald Sasser in lane 4. Sasser, one of the athletes battling it out for that third spot. He has 14 points overall after 3 events. The time to beat here today, 24:07. That belongs to Mitch Barnard. Did that in the second heat.
So because you have so many big names in this heat here, if you're one of the newer guys, what you have to do is not get all caught up in the excitement of being in the top heat with these big names. You have to hold to your game plan and just stay relaxed. You got a lot of reps to hit. Again, this right here is not the race. Just kind of get through this and then get yourself ready for the pull-ups.
Your leaders are right there in the middle of the screen coming into this event. Rich Froning in lane number 6. And then your leaders right now in this heat on the right in lane 1 is Patrick O'Connell. Next to him in the blue is Chris Walker, all 6'5" of him. I mean, this is just a chip shot for him on that wall ball.
Yeah, wall balls for him are not an issue. He did say he doesn't like the body weight movements, and guess what we have coming up next?
Well, Walker is right on his chest to bar pull-ups, and he's employing that butterfly technique. So he's the first man on the pull-up bar, but as we've seen in the past, just because you're first to the bar doesn't mean you're going to be the first off of it. Now in lane 6, Rich Froning getting to work on his chest to bar pull-ups, and Scott Panchik in lane 7. So now more of the leaders starting to finish up their 100 wall balls and get onto the chest to bar pull-ups. Froning went with a set of 10.
And I think we're going to see that pretty regularly for a lot of these big boys, at least up to 50. I bet they're going to be hitting sets of 10 on a pretty regular basis. After that, they may bring it down a little bit to 5 to 3s, but I think they can all handle 10 in the beginning.
Froning in lane 6, now through 20 reps. Chris Walker's through 25, and now every athlete except for Matt Hewitt in lane 1 is done with the wall balls. Rich Froning looking very smooth on those chest to bar pull-ups. We saw him do something very similar in that 13.5 head-to-head competition that he had with Jason Khalifa on those chest to bar pull-ups. He looked very methodical on those.
Yeah, pull-ups are not a problem. You know, he's a bigger athlete, 195 pounds, but pull-ups are not an issue for him. He has an uncanny ability for a lot of those body weight movements to do so well at them, and then so well when he's doing any kind of weighted movements as well.
So Rich Froning through 39, now through 40. Chris Walker is through 38. And Froning started off with a 5th place finish in Jackie. It's a little deceiving there because all the top 5 were within less than a second of each other, but then he set an event record on number 3, and he finished 2nd in the world on event 2.
You know, he just broke down into a set of 5. Now he's doing sets of 5, and he didn't even get to titches. I think it's a pretty smart move. Hit 10 until you know you're not going to be able to do that anymore, then go into sets of 5. If you start to fail at that, then drop down to sets of 3 so you're not sitting there for too long.
Rich Froning off the bar, but he's through 54. Scott Panchik currently sits in 2nd place, and it's Dan Bailey now moving into 3rd. We approach the 6-minute mark, 25-minute time cap, and so far only 2 men in this region have completed this event inside the 25-minute time cap. Scott Panchik, 2nd overall, best finish in event 2, where he took 2nd place as he had to finish outside of the top 7.
Look at that. All these guys are moving smoothly, though, for those sets of 5. And look how short that rest is. Counting himself down to probably 5 seconds and then getting right back on the bar.
Rich Froning through 70 reps. He is about 6 ahead of Scott Panchik, and now Dan Bailey moving up as well. Nick Forey is there, as is Marcus Hendren. Graham Holmberg, only 8 reps separating those men, but it's Rich Froning squarely in the lead with 75 chest to bar pull-ups down.
You know, all these guys, even Graham Holmberg right there, I think they've all employed that sets of 5 as they're making their way through. Again, what's important is keeping that rest time down. And you know what's so great? These guys are such smart athletes. They're not getting overexcited about what they have to do. They know that they need to keep below that red line so that they're able to get through this easily and efficiently and hopefully finish this workout.
That's Chris Walker in lane 11. He's through 62, and he was the first man to the pull-up bar, but now he is falling back in the pack. Rich Froning with 10 to go before he moves on to the one-legged squats. It's probably not too early to start talking about it, but the event record belongs to Jason Khalifa. He did it in 20 minutes and 15 seconds.
Wow, you know, again, for a guy who said he didn't do this, I don't believe it. I mean, that looks extremely strategized right there. Very consistent unless he is just that mature of an athlete at 25 years old.
Rich Froning is on to the one-legged squats. He's the first athlete there and going right into that movement as we approach the 8-minute mark. 25-minute time cap on this, and Froning now your leader as he is the first man to the 3rd movement in this event.
The fact that he is this far ahead already is really, really impressive. Again, I don't think any of the guys are going to make up a whole lot of distance during the pistols. It's going to happen during the snaps, but, you know, he's well ahead right now, and I think that's going to work in his favor without a doubt.
In lane 7, it's Scott Panchik now moving on to the one-legged squats.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's just a matter of, is he going to chase Jason's record or not? He said he's not worried about event records right now. He just wants to win so he can get himself to the games. But I don't know. I think everybody likes to be on top.
Now, Rich Froning has completed his first set of 20. Dan Bailey will be the 3rd man to the one-legged squats, and Nick Forey is there as well. So more and more athletes finishing up their initial set of 100 chest to bar pull-ups, and here comes Graham Holmberg, the 2010 Games champion, right next to Rich Froning. So your leaders in the middle of your screen in lanes 5, 6, and 7. Froning coming in first place overall. Scott Panchik behind him in second, and then Graham Holmberg battling a couple other men for that third position. But Holmberg sits in third place overall, just receiving a no rep on one of those squats. 5 to go now for Rich Froning in his second set of 20. And we're approaching the 10-minute mark. Again, the event record is Jason Khalifa, 20 minutes and 15 seconds. And Froning continues to move here. No sign of slowing down for the two-time defending CrossFit Games champion.
You know, when we talk about the CrossFit Games champion, he's the fittest man on the planet, or at least it has been the last 2 years. What we're looking at in the CrossFit realm is fitness. How much work can you do over a broad time in modal domains? How many different things are you going to be good at? And everything that is thrown at this guy, he crushes. It's uncanny how good he is at all these different events.
You would not expect a man to put 315 pounds over his head and squat it and then go and set an event record in a movement like a burpee muscle up. But that's exactly what he did yesterday in events 2 and 3, and now it looks like he might be chasing down another event record as he moves to his fourth set of 21-legged squats. So now it's Rich Froning in this heat, and it's everybody else, as it looks like the battle will be for second place. And right now it's Scott Panchik, Dan Bailey, Nick Forey, and Graham Holmberg all fighting for second place as Rich Froning, the man in front in the middle of your screen, continues to widen his lead over the man on the right in the red shoes and no shirt. That is Scott Panchik, who came into this event second overall.
You know, they're just not going to be able to catch him. Everyone's going rep for rep, so there isn't going to be a whole lot of movement. Unless they stay pace with Rich, he's going to actually advance a little further here, but that's not what these other athletes want. They want to reel him in, so they need to pick up the tempo. I'd expect someone like Dan Bailey, a little bit shorter legs, to really pick it up here and try to catch Rich into the dumbbells.
Rich Froning is through 80 reps of his alternating one-legged squats. After this, it's the final movement, 170-pound dumbbell snatches. And Chris Walker, who is the first man to the pull-up bar, has just now gotten to the one-legged squats.
Well, he said he didn't like the bodyweight movements, and that was probably one of the worst ones you could do.
Rich Froning still in the lead now. 10 to go before he moves on to the one-arm dumbbell snatches. Scott Panchik on the right of your screen with the red shoes and the blue knee bands is in second place, and now it's Dan Bailey in third place. He's 5 reps back of Panchik for second, but now it's Rich Froning moving on to the one-arm dumbbell snatches as we approach the 12-minute mark. So he has another event record in his sights. That belongs to Jason Khalifa, 20 minutes, 15 seconds. And if Rich Froning really did not practice this event, I guarantee you that a lot of other athletes are not going to practice.
Yeah, I'm not going to practice anymore if this is what it does for you. Now, the cool thing about this is we have all seen dumbbell snatches last year. We had that dumbbell snatch in the sprint where the guys had to throw 100 pounds over their head. This year it's 70 pounds, but we're doing twice as many reps. Last year we had to do 40. This year we're doing 100. All right, a little bit more than twice as many.
Well, the last man to actually beat Rich Froning in a competition is Graham Holmberg, and Holmberg currently battling Nick Forey, Dan Bailey, and Scott Panchik for second place. Holmberg's through 80 reps. He's 5 back of Panchik.
Now, of these guys, last year when they were doing that dumbbell snatch sprint, the next best score was Graham Holmberg. He actually got 336 in that dumbbell event. Scott Panchik had 354, so they at least have a shot at chasing Rich. You know, they've done this. They've been in the same position head-to-head with Rich like this, so they need to get up in there, because being 20 reps behind is not what you want to be behind Rich Froning.
Yeah, usually if you're behind Rich Froning, you stay there. He does not let people catch him, and now he is through his first set of 20 one-arm dumbbell snatches. We're past 13 minutes. Again, the event record is 20 minutes, 15 seconds, and Dan Bailey looking really tired right there as he works his way through his final one-legged squat. Bailey putting on a belt, and he will move to the dumbbell snatches. Nick Forey right next to him is also done. Forey putting on a belt. He's moving to the one-arm dumbbell snatches, and Scott Panchik is on the dumbbell as well. But they have a lot of distance to make up if they want to catch that man, Rich Froning, who continues to lead this event. The time to beat is 24:07. That is easily within Froning's grasp. Now the question is, can he beat Jason Khalifa's event record of 20 minutes, 15 seconds?
You know, the fact that he's holding, I thought maybe he'd break it up into sets of 10. He's virtually going for sets of 20 without stopping. I mean, he hasn't even slowed down at all yet.
Now, Froning needs to be careful on the descent. If that dumbbell bounces too much, he may get a no rep. They have to control that dumbbell on the way down, but he hasn't been penalized for it yet. Capacity crowd looking on. They may be getting set to witness another event record here at the Ohio Expo Center, in event 4 of the Central East Regional, and you can see just how many people are packed into this facility for this regional competition. We're not even at the games yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's virtually a who's who in CrossFit. But the fact that these guys are moving so fast, I really honestly think that we could have 5 guys at least in this heat finish. They're just not slowing down. You can see how much more fit these guys here in the front are across the whole world virtually. We've only had 10% of the guys actually finish this event. We had 2 guys finish today so far. We're gonna have a vast majority of that percentage happen right here.
We're past the 15-minute mark, so 10 minutes to go before we hit the time cap, but that should not be a concern at all for Rich Froning, as he has reached the halfway point in his 100 dumbbell snatches. He's through 52 reps now. Scott Panchik next to him. On the right of your screen, Panchik currently in 2nd place. On the left of your screen is Graham Holmberg. Holmberg right now in 4th, and Dan Bailey on the far right of your screen currently sits in 3rd place overall. But right now it's Rich Froning running away with this heat, running away with this event, and possibly steamrolling another event record. Jason Khalifa currently holds it in 20 minutes, 15 seconds. Froning's judge's hand goes in the air. Now Froning moves on to his 4th set of 20. 16 minutes down in this event. 4 minutes to go for Froning if he wants to chase down Jason Khalifa's event record.
You know, I think he's just composing himself right there because he knows exactly how much time he has. Every time he steps on that number, he virtually goes unbroken. He doesn't rest until he's moving that dumbbell. So the fact that he's holding this together right now, he knows exactly what he needs to do, and he is right on time for that. Perfect tempo to actually catch Jason.
The time to beat, no concern for Rich Froning, 24:07. That's Mitch Barnard, but that probably will not last. The event record again, 20 minutes, 15 seconds, and Rich Froning is closing in on that. Now through 70 reps of the one-arm dumbbell snatches.
Wow, right there is his first break at 10. First time at 70 reps that he actually broke at 10. So you can tell it's starting to, fatigue's starting to set in, but his tempo and his pace is so fast right now.
Plenty of people here from Rich Froning's gym, CrossFit Mayhem, wearing those blue shirts in the crowd, and they continue to cheer on the 2-time defending CrossFit Games champion as he is tearing through these one-arm dumbbell snatches. The fans from CrossFit Maximus getting into it as well as they cheer on Chris Walker. Walker trying to get through the one-legged squats. Is now everybody about 6 deep at the rails. They're packed in the stands, and they're watching one of the best performances we've seen so far across any regions here in this event. And Rich Froning on his final set. 17 minutes, 30 seconds gone by. The event record, 2015. Froning taking a quick break. And now he'll get back to work on the dumbbell. Rich Froning in 1st place. He already has 2 wins so far. He already has 1 event record. He did that yesterday. And now he's looking for his 3rd win of the competition and his 2nd event record in as many events.
I want to know if he's going to be able to go all 20 straight right here. That's what he needs to do if he wants to hit that record. He doesn't need to beat the rest of the crowd right now. He's done that. Is he going to chase that record? Is he going to give this crowd a show? Look, everyone's got their phones up. They want to record this record being broken.
Rich Froning could make a trip to the concession stand and come back, and he'd probably still be in the lead. Scott Panchik's in 2nd place. He's through 65 reps. But now it's Rich Froning with 10 to go, and he has less than 2 minutes to get them before he hits the mark that Jason Khalifa set of 20 minutes and 15 seconds. And Froning on the dumbbell.
He is well above that pace. Took him only a minute to get that last 10.
Rich Froning, another event record in his sights. Right now it's 20 minutes, 15 seconds, but that's most likely going to change. 5 reps now for Rich Froning. He already has 1 event record. He's looking at a 2nd one. 3 to go for Froning as the crowd is counting him down. Froning is done. Move over Jason Khalifa. The defending champ is He beats it by more than a minute.
Let me just walk in and beat the record, the event record. Unbelievable job.
19 minutes, 5 seconds. And he said he didn't practice.
Yeah, I still don't buy that one.
New event record for Rich Froning. His third win in 4 events here at the Central East Regional, and his second event record in as many events. Meanwhile, it's Scott Panchik trying to finish second. Panchik now with 7 reps to go. And he's trying to get inside 20 minutes. Panchik, if it wouldn't be for Rich Froning, would have a shot at the event record.
Absolutely. Look at that. He's still moving. You know, I wouldn't have thought that Jason's record would have been beat this bad, but wow, having multiple people.
And here comes Panchik, and he's going to beat Jason Khalipa's time by about 14 seconds, 20:01 unofficially for Panchik as he finishes in second place. Your top 2 overall coming into this event. They'll stay there after event number 4. So Panchik with blood on his hands. But he has a top 2 finish here in event number 4. Dan Bailey now trying to hold off Graham Holmberg for 3rd place. Bailey with 82 reps down. He's on his final set of 20.
You know, these guys are battling for 3rd overall as well, also being in this heat. So, wow, just the fact that Rich and Scott were able to hold up there. And these 3 guys, it's not like they're doing bad. They're still in 20 minutes right now. Are you kidding me?
There is not a fan in his or her seat right now. All these people are standing up, still cheering on these athletes as they know they are watching some of the most elite CrossFitters in the world in this region take on this grueling event. We're past the 21-minute mark. On the left, Graham Holmberg. On the right is Dan Bailey. Holmberg currently in 3rd place in this heat and 3rd place in this event. And Dan Bailey on the right with a few more reps to go before he closes out his final set of 100 and crossing the finish line. Bailey now with 1 more to go. Being cheered on by training partner Rich Froning. Bailey's done. He'll run to his finish pad. Now Froning moves on to cheer on 2010 CrossFit Games champion Graham Holmberg. Dan Bailey gets in unofficially with a time of 21:26. Graham Holmberg finishing up, so Bailey helping his cause as he came in, tied with Holmberg with 14 points, so it's going to be Bailey moving ahead of Holmberg for that 3rd and final spot. Holmberg is done, and he will cross the finish line, so the 2010 champ gets in unofficially with a time of 21:53 seconds. He will finish 4th in this event and collapsing at the finish line. Rich Froning moving his way down to cheer on some more of his fellow competitors. Dan Bailey, you don't see that often from these athletes.
No, these guys are so fit, so strong, so powerful. But to see them absolutely smashed. Now, I will say this. You saw how wrecked everyone is, but look at the champ.
No, he's
already up-rested already.
Walking around. Nick Forey has finished. He's taking a breather.
Look at that. Let me help you out. I just smashed the record, but let me come over and I'll help you out real fast.
As a competitor, if you're watching this and you know you're in the games and you have to take this guy on, mentally, what does that do to you watching this?
It makes you think, wow, I obviously need to put a whole lot more volume into my workouts.
More athletes finishing up. 25-minute time cap, and this field, for the most part, looks like they have a chance of the majority of their athletes getting in. That's Gerald Sasser, who came in 5th place overall, falling back a bit, but we still have 3 events to go after this one, including one later on this evening.
It'll be interesting to see what this workout does for some heavy box jumps and some big deadlifts. Heavy deadlifts, big box jumps in the next workout. I've just got exhausted watching all these guys. I think that's what the problem is.
Gerald Sasser finishing up his final set of 20. He has 5 reps to go. Sasser trying to stay in the top 10 here. Only 2 men before this heat finished inside the 25-minute time cap. So if Sasser can finish inside that 25 minutes and beat the time of 24:07, he should be able to stay in the top 10. He is done. Sasser moving on to his finishing pad. And he gets in with a time of 23:46. So Sasser will finish 6th overall in this event. Rich Froning is in lane 1 cheering on Matt Hewitt. In lane number 2, Will Moran comes in. floor at 24:02, so he beats the time to beat. In lane 3, that's Marcus Hendren coming in lane number 10. So Hendren, a guy who's now going to have to do some work and get some help to get himself back to the CrossFit Games. Gerald Sasser signing his scorecard. 30 seconds to go before we hit the time cap. Froning trying to encourage Matt Hewitt to finish this one out. He has a couple reps left, just 2 to go now for Matt Hewitt. The crowd still on its feet. And one of the things you gotta love about CrossFit, the man who finishes last often gets cheered more than the man who finishes first.
Yeah.
Matt Hewitt is done, and he will get in inside of the 25-minute time cap.
You're gonna see as we get closer and closer with these last final athletes, the crowd's gonna get louder and louder and louder. They've all been there. We've all been there. We know exactly what it feels like to be that guy that needs that help.
That's the horn. Dan Bailey congratulating Rich Froning, who sets another event record. He smashes the previous time of 2015 set by Jason Khalifa. Scott Panchik will finish second, and then Dan Bailey rounding out the top 3 as Rich Froning acknowledges the crowd, congratulating Joe Weigel. So Dan Bailey, Rich Froning, and Scott Panchik, your top 3. Dan Bailey was third off the pull-up bar, but did good work on the pistols and on the dumbbell snatches.
You can tell how hard that workout was for him. I mean, sweating, snotting, spitting, not caring, just trying to actually get through that. He was pushed to his limit. I think that was a great workout. Great job he did on that.
Scott Panchik finished second, and Panchik was on Froning's heels when they started the one-legged squats, but he couldn't keep up with the champ.
Yeah, that's a rough thing to chase. You know,
Not many people can.
Even he got in and was able to knock out Jason Khalifa's record.
And finally, Rich Froning, who was steady on those wall balls, managed his rest well and ran away with this thing.
There's a reason he's been the champ 2 years in a row. I mean, you hate to say the word three-peat, but he's going to be tough to beat.
Well, he's certainly putting on a show here at the Central East Regional. Let's go down to Emily Turner with the new event record holder.
All right, well, Bill said the word three-peat, and we can officially say three-peat here. This is now your 3rd win in a row. And obviously, this is a long workout. At what point do you just say, boy, this really sucks?
Before we even started, I think. You sit in that corral, you have a softball in your stomach, and you're just like, man, this is terrible. Just the nerves and all that. As soon as 3, 2, 1 goes, it's gone. And then you're just running on adrenaline. The last 30 reps, though, gut check.
And when you talk about three-peat, I mean, obviously you're going into this to win. You're going to the games, hopefully, to win that. Is there more pressure as a 2-time games champion?
Yes and no. There's always pressure. I don't like to lose. But in the end, you know, it matters, but yeah, I want to win. So I'm trying to be nice, I guess. I'm trying to figure out a way to say that, but yeah, I want to win.
Well, you know what? You've got 2 event records now under your belt and 3 wins, so congratulations and good luck the rest of the weekend, Rich. Thanks.
Thanks, Emily. Rich Froning, his 3rd straight victory here at the Central East Regional and the 2nd straight event record that he set. Scott Panchik will finish 2nd, and then Dan Bailey and Graham Holmberg rounding out the top 4. After 4 events, it's Froning now still in single digits. Scott Panchik sits in 2nd. It's Dan Bailey now jumping Graham Holmberg for 3rd place.
You know, I really want to see what that workout does now to the later events. Rough 2 days. We got some heavy deadlifts, like I was saying earlier, into tomorrow. So I want to see if there's any issues that these guys have on the backside. I want to see how much tape they're going to come out with in the next event.
So after a 5th place finish in Jackie, Rich Froning has ripped off 3 straight victories, and this capacity crowd could be witnessing another record later on with the men go after event 5, the heavy deadlifts and the box jumps. We had the marathon, and now it is time for the sprint. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio, for our continuing live coverage of the 2013 Central East Regional Competition. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler, the 4th and final heat of Event 5. 21:15.9, heavy deadlifts and box jumps.
You know what? Heavy hitters coming in here. I'm expecting to see some quick workouts through here.
Rory McKernan is on the competition floor, and he's with CrossFit Games Director Dave Castro.
Thanks, Sean. Hey, Dave, an amazing male competition that we're facing here. What do you expect to see in this event?
Well, today I'm really excited about seeing Dan Bailey go after this workout. In 2011, he did this workout in 3:04, and what a lot of people don't realize is that's the second fastest time of the year. I want to see if 2 years later he can best that time and go sub-3. You know, the fastest time this year is by Austin Maliolo at 3:17. I expect to see that go down. And Rich and Graham didn't have to do this in 2011, so we'll see what they're capable of doing today. They also didn't have to deal with the hundreds WOD 2 years ago, but it'll be exciting. It'll be fast. Keep your eyes on it. It'll be cool.
Cool. Thanks, Dave. Sean, back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Rory. If Dan Bailey gets a win here, it will be the first of the competition. He'll have to beat that man to do it. Let's go down to Miranda Oldroyd for the introductions.
In lane 12, from CrossFit Fort Wayne, in 12th place, Kaylee Hetrick. In lane 1, from CrossFit Faith, currently in 11th place, Matt Hewitt. In lane 11, from Derby City CrossFit, currently in 10th place, Patrick O'Connell. In lane 2, from CrossFit Talon, currently in 9th place, Will Morad. In lane 10, CrossFit Games veteran from CrossFit Polaris, in 8th place, Marcus Hendren. In lane 3, from CrossFit Cadre, another Games veteran, currently in 7th place, Joe Weigel. In lane 9, from Mad City CrossFit, currently ranked number 6, Nick Forey. In lane 4, from CrossFit Countdown, currently in 5th place, Gerald Sasser. In lane 8, from CrossFit Grandview, your 2010 Games champion, in 4th place, Graham Holmberg. In lane 5, from CrossFit Mayhem, another Games veteran, currently in 3rd place, Dan Bailey. In lane 7, from CrossFit Distinction, currently in 2nd place, Scott Panchik. And in lane 6, from CrossFit Mayhem, the 2011-2012 champ, currently in 1st place, Rich Froning.
Rich Froning looking for another event record. He will occupy lane 6. Next to him in 2nd place overall is Scott Panchik, and Dan Bailey sits in 3rd. Graham Holmberg, Gerald Sasser, and Nick Forey all battling for that 3rd and final spot. The time to beat, 3:42.6. That belongs to Ken Battison. The event record, 3:19 by Austin Maliolo.
3, 2, 1, go.
4th and final heat, our last event of the day. 21:15.9. Deadlifts at 315 pounds and box jumps. And Rich Froning, who has back-to-back event records, has his sights on another.
You know, where my sights are right now is on Dan Bailey.
The Bailey, Holmberg, and Hendren, the first men done with their sets of 21. Now Froning is done, Scott Panchik is done, and they will start on their set of 21 box jumps. The last time we had a sprint, it was the first event. It was Jackie, and Bailey did beat Froning. Now, granted, it was about 0.3 of a second, but he still bested the champ in that event. The world record, and you got to talk about it when Rich Froning is in the field, 3 minutes, 19 seconds by Austin Maliolo. He did that in week 1.
You know, Dan Bailey knows exactly what he has to do. And on the event where he has a shot to really make it count, this is going to be it. He has to do his work right now. Whether it hurts or not, it doesn't matter. He has to do this, and he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. But here we come into that most painful round.
Marcus Hendren also on his set of 15. Marcus Hendren needs to do some work here and get some help. Hendren has 37 points. That puts him 20 points out of a qualifying spot. That final spot currently occupied by the man on the far left of your screen, Dan Bailey. He has 17 points coming in to event number 5. And it's Hendren who is just slightly ahead of Bailey, but Bailey continuing to keep a fast pace on the deadlift, but now he's resting. Hendren continuing to work.
I am shocked that Dan put the bar down.
Bailey back on the bar. He's through 11. Now Hendren's done. So Marcus Hendren really needs a win here, and he is currently in the lead. Stumbling on that box jump, that will not count.
Got to get all the way up on top there. You know, that gave Dan a little bit of a window. But, wow, Marcus is just doing great. He's making sure those count, getting back up on that box quickly.
Dan Bailey caught that one, but it will not count. So Marcus Hendren continuing to work steadily here and is now through 9 reps on his set of 15. The time to beat is 3 minutes, 42.6 seconds. Rich Froning next to Dan Bailey on his set of 15 box jumps. He is currently in 3rd place ahead of Graham Holmberg. Holmberg came in 4th place overall, 1 point back of Dan Bailey. And now Marcus Hendren back for his final set of 9 deadlifts. Dan Bailey is done. He's back for his final set. But Marcus Hendren really needs a victory here.
He needs this one. He has to go as unbroken as he possibly can. He's looking strong. He's moving that barbell well.
Hendren 1 to go. The event record is 3:19. That will probably be safe, but today's time to beat 3:42.6 is not. Marcus Hendren has a victory in his sights as Dan Bailey begins to slow, and now Rich Froning has tied Bailey, and Graham Holmberg now making up some ground as well. Marcus Hendren, 1 more rep for him. He is done, and Marcus Hendren will pick up his first victory of the Central East competition, unofficially a time of 3:35.8, and now the battles for second place between Rich Froning on the right and Dan Bailey on your left. Bailey struggling again on the box jumps. He catches his balance, and that will count. So 1 more for Bailey. Froning is in. Froning will finish in 2nd in the heat. Bailey is in. He will get 3rd. But 2nd overall will belong to Ken Battison, whose time of 3:42.6, only bested by 1 man. It's Marcus Hendren. Now Graham Holmberg, who came in 4th place overall with 18 points. Trying to catch Dan Bailey. He needs to get in as fast as he can, and he is in 4 minutes, 19 seconds unofficially. Scott Panchik came in 2nd place overall with 14 points, and now he is falling back. Panchik done. Final time of 4:32.
There's a lot of movement going on here with all these athletes and where they're going. But again, this was that volume we were talking about. How did that affect them going into here? I expected to see a lot lower numbers from those top athletes, but look at what happened. Some of them look absolutely destroyed.
Matt Hewitt is in. Joseph Weigel finished up as well. And now we have 3 athletes left on the floor. Will Morad, Patrick O'Connell, and then in lane number 12, it's Caleb Hetrick out of CrossFit Fort Wayne. That's Patrick O'Connell, comes in from Derby City CrossFit. He's out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Again, look at where these athletes are compared to some of our top athletes. You get these guys that are really, they're gunning for it. They want to be in the big show. They are emptying the tank on these workouts prior to this, trying to do the same thing here, but guess what? You run into a wall, and that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, they physically can't move, can't jump nearly what they're normally capable of doing.
And a lot of that has to do with what happened in Event 4, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's what we're talking about. The amount of volume that these guys are undertaking up to this point has been incredible. The fact that they're hanging on is obviously a true testament to them, but you can see the damage that it's doing. They're doing 1 rep at a time, and that's not the normal for these athletes at all.
Patrick O'Connell on the left in the red, Caleb Hetrick on the right, trying to get in inside the 8-minute time cap here. Marcus Hendren in the blue shirt on the left of your screen. He is the man who won this event with a time of 3:35, and he absolutely needed that win as he came in with 37 points. He was in 8th place, and the good news for him is he beat everybody in front of him. So he's going to have some ground still to make up, but helping his cause with that victory.
That was a giant feather in his cap for sure. He needed that, and he did exactly what he needed to do.
Next to him is Graham Holmberg. Graham finished 4th in this heat with a time of 4:19. former champion came in 4th place overall. We'll have to see if he stays there once we get the official results after 5 events. Approaching the 7-minute mark, 1 minute to go before we hit the 8-minute time cap, because we've seen a lot of that on those box jumps.
You know, one of the worries that people have with box jumps is that, you know, cranking their shins on the corner there. You don't like to see it, but it's just one of those things that happens. You have to, you know, stay controlled, stay contained.
Now, here's one of the best things about CrossFit. You see fellow competitors staying on the floor to cheer on the men that they're competing against. And Rich Froning always goes to every athlete out there. And he said, it's like, I was in this position once. I know what it feels like. And that's why he tries to help people out. And he's urging the fans on to help count down Caleb Hendrick.
You know, not only being the champ, I mean, and obviously great ambassador for the sport. He's firing everybody up. Wow. I think Dan Bailey just grew some hair.
Dan Bailey donning the mullet wig that he wore in the Broflex commercial that many of you have seen on the website. Very popular. Bailey, a good sport to do that. Rich Froning cheering on Caleb Hendrick, trying to encourage him to get just one more rep. 5 seconds to go before we hit the time cap, and Hendrick's going to give it a go, and he's unable to lock it out, but made the attempt regardless, and now getting congratulations from his fellow competitors. But it's Marcus Hendren winning this event, a time of 3:35.8. Rich Froning must not be feeling too well. He finished 2nd. And then Dan Bailey in 3rd place. So the event record is safe. 3:19 still by Austin Malleolo, but Dan Bailey started out very well, but then ran into some trouble here.
You know, again, I think it was the culmination of the whole weekend up to this point. He was a minute off his time from 2 years ago. We know he's fit, but that just crushed him.
And as always, Rich Froning, methodical.
He doesn't need to win every single event. He will be in the top of every single event, and that's what's always been his key to victory, whether it's the games or the regionals.
And then it was Marcus Hendren, who, like Bailey, started off very quickly, but then kept that pace.
Yeah, he didn't slow down at all. I mean, he was mechanical. We've talked about that word, and he did exactly what he needed to get himself back in there.
Let's go down to Emily Turner, who's standing by with Marcus Hendren.
Hey guys, all right, Marcus Hendren here, the winner of this box jump deadlift event. You needed this. How badly did you need this?
Oh, really bad. I've been middle of the pack, well, not middle of the pack, but flirting around 10 on every single workout. I was sitting in 8th, going into that one down 17 points from 5th place. I can't tell you how bad I needed that one. I didn't think I was going to win it going into it either. Before I stepped up to that bar when the 3-2-1 went off, I decided I wasn't going to put that bar down. And I just stuck with that the whole time.
Well, I mean, it obviously won you this event. So here we are, the end of day 2. There is still a day left, but this is such a highly contested region. What do you need to do to make sure you're on the leaderboard at the end of tomorrow?
Something like that. I probably need to be top 3, top 5 in the next 2 events if I have any shot at going to California this year. So get some rest, be ready to go tomorrow morning.
Fantastic. Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Emily. Marcus Hendren picking up his first win of the competition. Ken Battison will finish in 2nd. And it's Rich Froning, another top 5 finish for the defending champ. And Dan Bailey in 4th place. Overall, after 5 events, Froning is still in 1st. It's now Dan Bailey in 2nd, Scott Panchik in 3rd, but still a lot of men in contention heading into our final 2 events.
Last thing I can say for these guys is rest up, boys, because tomorrow we got one more big day. Take care of yourself tonight. Bring in the heat tomorrow. One last day to throw it down.
And no cuts. The entire field will go through the final 2 events, which means that leaderboard can shake up quite a bit. 5 down, 2 more to go. We will have live coverage continuing tomorrow from the Central East Regional as 2-time defending champion Rich Froning and Dan Bailey battle it out with the rest of the field. For Bill Grundler, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you on Sunday.
Life doesn't care where you're going or how you get there. Sometimes you have to push, pull, or fight through it. It's not always perfect, and it doesn't come easy. Life simply asks that you join it.
CrossFit Games are arguably the most most egalitarian sport in history. If you think you have what it takes, all you need to do is throw down for the 6-week Open. Just complete the 1 workout per week at your local gym or even at home with a video camera, and you're in the running. The catch is you have to outperform the tens of thousands of others who think the same. At the end of the Open, the top 60 from each region are invited to compete in the semi-final round, the regionals, where it is on. You'll go head-to-head for 6 workouts over 3 days in front of judges and thousands of fans. Only the best of the best survive here, as no more than 3 from each region qualified for the Reebok CrossFit Games. Historically, the Central East region has hosted one of the most competitive races in CrossFit. Last year, 5 men earned a spot to Carson. They all placed in the top 10 against the best athletes in the world.
Welcome back to the Ohio Exposition Center in the 2013 Central East Regional Competition. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler, and Bill, those 5 men in this final heat, but there's some new names mixed in there too.
You know, there are a couple. I mean, obviously, whenever you look at any event, you want to throw Rich Froning into the mix as who's going to win it, but we have such a battle going on for that 3rd place. A relative unknown in Gerald Sasser. We asked him what he had to do before. He said, I got to win. Let's see if he can do it with these big boys.
We've already had 2 days of competition and 5 events. Here's a look at how we got here.
A field packed with talent gave us a finish in Event 1 that was loaded with excitement. A mad dash through the 30 pull-ups led to a scramble to the finish line that saw Joe Weigel beat Dan Bailey for first place by a mere 0.2 of a second. 2-time defending Games champion Rich Froning would finish 5th, just 0.6 of a second off the lead time. Froning would do nothing but finish first the rest of the day. He flirted with the Event 2 record with a single overhead squat at 315 pounds. He would turn right around in Event 3 to get through 30 burpee muscle-ups in 4:10.8. That gave him another victory and the event record by 0.2 of a second. Froning's assault on the record book continued on Saturday. He tore through the hundreds en route to setting a new event record at 19:05.2. It was his 3rd straight victory and put him all alone on top of the leaderboard. Marcus Hendren would break Froning's winning streak in Event 5. He got his first win of the competition at 3:35.8. Froning would finish in 3rd with Dan Bailey in 4th.
Your overall standings through 5 events, Rich Froning all by himself at the top of the leaderboard, but still spots 2 through 7 all in contention.
It's going to be tight, and who's going to win it? Right. You're looking at Rich, but those names, they won in that top 3. They want to be on the podium.
Just 17 points separating 2nd from 7th. Rich Froning already has 3 wins. Can he get a 4th and set an event record in the process? Event 6 coming up next when we come back to the Ohio Expo Center.
Hey guys, welcome to CrossFit headquarters. Let's take a look and see how things run on a regional weekend here. So this is actually the publishing and writing side of the house. All of our posts on .com, Twitter, Facebook, it all happens right here. All right guys, this is the IT and art department. This is the game side of the house. Whoa. All of our editing stations, producers, all the content comes in. These guys are doing the edits. Update show is actually getting ready to film, so you can see they've actually got the regionals streaming live. They're doing hair and makeup for the update show. This is actually where they switch between the live show at the desk and the regionals. We've got live streams coming in from all the regionals, and these guys are logging every event, what's going on, who's doing what, who's making moves. The only thing we can't show you is the games testing center. It's top secret. We can't let you in on that stuff. So that's it. We'll see you guys this summer at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah! Alright, so I need more core to extremity. Yeah!
No.
Yes!
No.
Yeah!
Don't scream like that.
Yes!
No.
You really want to come from the diaphragm. And get it. Yeah! Yeah! Kiss the baby.
Oh my goodness, Josh Bridges absolutely hammered those big guys. Woo! Unbelievable, look at this. Crushing the time by a minute. He took that time by a minute.
The same way that CrossFitters have taken fitness to a new level, we do the same thing with the equipment.
Since being involved owning affiliates, Rogue Fitness gear has made a gym owner's life that much better.
With CrossFit, they know what they want. And because we keep the work local in our shop, I can make changes based on their demands right away.
Do you have Rogue equipment? People look for that when they look at a gym. If it says Rogue on it, that's the mark of quality equipment.
More than 3,000 fans of the sport of fitness have packed the Ohio Expo Center here in Columbus to catch a glimpse of some of the top athletes in CrossFit. The fourth and final heat of men's event number 6 is set to go, and it features two-time defending champion Rich Froning, but plenty of competitors trying to chase him down.
In lane 12, currently in 12th place from CrossFit 614, Dave Omer. In lane 1, currently in 11th place from CrossFit Faith, Matt Hewitt. In lane 11 from CrossFit Talon, currently in 10th place, Will Morad. In lane 2 from CrossFit Future, currently in 9th place, Tristan Moore. In lane 10, currently in 8th place from CrossFit Cadre, Joe Weigel. In lane 3 from CrossFit Polaris, 2012 veteran, in 7th place, Marcus Hendren. In lane 9 from Mad City CrossFit, currently in 6th place, Nick Forey. In lane 4 from CrossFit Countdown, currently in 5th place, Gerald Sasser. In lane 8, the 2010 champion from CrossFit Grandview, currently in 4th, Graham Holberg. In lane 5 from CrossFit Distinction, another Games veteran, now in 3rd place, Scott Panchik. In lane 7 from CrossFit Mayhem, another Games veteran, in 2nd place right now, Dan Bailey. And in lane 6 from CrossFit Mayhem, the 2011-2012 champ, in 1st place, Rich Froning.
The final heat of men's event number 6. Your starting order and lanes 3 through 9, all still very much in contention for one of the top 3 spots. And here's what is in store for them. Event number 6, known as the Chipper. The time to beat currently held by Nick Urankar, a former Games competitor. The event record belongs to Josh Bridges, 8 minutes, 11 seconds. He did that in the Southern California Regional. Event 6 starts with 100 double unders.
You know, I think this whole event's going to come down to the shoulder to overhead and that walking lunge. It's going to be a battle and a war once they get on the floor. So that's where I look to see some big things happen.
These men trying to chase down that time to beat and the event record, and that man, Dan Bailey, may have a shot at it.
3, 2, 1, go!
We're underway in the 4th and final heat of event 6, the 6th of 7 events here at the Central East Regional Competition. We saw Dan Bailey right before the 3-2-1 count, and he's a guy who might be able to make a legitimate run at Josh Bridges' record here.
There's a lot of things that he's really good at in this particular workout. Double unders, he's great. Handstand push-ups, we saw it last year with Diane. I expect him to be moving through that part, but again, I don't think that's going to be the main part of this workout. I think it's once we get to the bar, that will determine who our winner is going to be.
After the 100 double unders, the athletes move underneath that clear plexiglass wall where they will perform 50 handstand push-ups. Then it's on to the pull-up bar for 40 toes to bar, and then they get to the axle bar for 30 shoulder to overhead. That thing weighs 160 pounds. Once they're done with that, they front rack it and lunge 90 feet to the finish line. Graham Holmberg's done with his double unders, and a whole host of competitors. Now just about everybody finishes. Joe Weigel, the last man to finish his double unders. They are all on the 50 handstand push-ups.
What's so impressive about Rich Froning there in the majority red clothing, he's so calm and relaxed. He took a breath. Out of all those athletes that came underneath the wall, he actually stood there, took a breath, and then went into his handstand push-ups, whereas everyone else had tried to jump up there real quick.
Right now, it's Rich Froning, Dan Bailey, and Graham Holmberg all battling it out for the top spot, but Dan Bailey is through 24 reps of his handstand push-ups. He's there in the gray in the middle of your screen. Next to him, Rich Froning on the all red.
Again, what Dan Bailey's doing, which is extremely smart, is he's resting on his head. Gets up, locks his arms out, takes the rep, and goes back down and stops on his head. Saves his arms for what he really needs them, which is at the end of the handstand push-up section, and then when they get into that shoulder to overhead section.
Dan Bailey has back-to-back sixth-place finishes at the CrossFit Games. Trying to get back there, he currently sits in second place overall. He's just 1 point ahead of Scott Panchik.
Now, if you look at where their hands are, they want to make sure that every rep is counting. You see that white tape line? They have to keep the mass part of their hand, their palm, within that area. Fingers on that tape is okay, but if their palm touches, that's going to be a no rep.
Rich Froning is take a break and walk back to the wall to get to work on his 50 handstand push-ups. Meanwhile, Dan Bailey is just 1 rep away from finishing, and now Bailey will move to the toes to bar. He's the first athlete there, and he is in first place. He has yet to win an event, but has not finished outside of the top 5.
You know, this is exactly where he wants to be right now. It's like we said, he hasn't had an event win during this competition, but if there was an event that was made for him to do that, this is his shot to do it.
So Dan Bailey, the only man so far on the pull-up bar going through his toes to bar, and he's almost halfway done with those. Wow. Graham Holmberg will be joining Bailey on the pull-up bar as Holmberg has finished his handstand push-ups, as has Rich Froning. So the 3 leaders in the middle of your screen. Dan Bailey in the middle, currently in first place in this event. Rich Froning next to him in second. And then with no shirt on the right of your screen, Graham Holmberg in third. And Bailey's finally off the bar. He went 31 unbroken.
You know, he knows these guys are chasing him, and if he wants to make a big move, this is where he has to do it. Just stay consistent, get through these, and then really get moving when he gets to that axle bar.
Approaching the 4-minute mark, the time to beat belongs to Nick Urankar, 10:35. And with the men in this field, you can never reference the world record enough because it's always in danger. This time, it's Josh Bridges' time of 8 minutes, 11 seconds. That may go down here as Dan Bailey moving on to the shoulder to overhead, 160 pounds on that axle bar.
Now he really needs to get this thing moving. Look at that, 160 pounds put up overhead. No problem at all, but he needs to make up this distance. He knows the strong characters that are coming up behind him, especially Rich Froning right off to his left there.
Graham Holmberg is through 34 of his 40 toes to bar, and Rich Froning right behind him. He has 10 to go on the pull-up bar. Bailey, meanwhile, got 12 reps done. He has 30 he has to do before he starts on that 90-foot lunge. Rich Froning set the event record in the burpee muscle-ups and then came right back and set the event record in the 100s.
This is a great position that Dan Bailey's in right now, getting into that second set of 10. But again, we know how strong Rich is and how much weight he put up overhead. He's going to get moving. And then right off to his right-hand side is Graham Holmberg. He is a clutch athlete. He always comes through when he needs it, so he can't count anybody out. Dan knows that.
Right now, Graham Holmberg sitting in 4th place overall. He's 3 points back of Scott Panchik, who currently occupies 3rd. But it's Bailey trying to hang on to his lead as Rich Froning is chipping away at that. Froning now just 10 reps back of Dan Bailey, who was on his final set of 10, shoulder to overhead.
Now, even though Dan's out there in front, Graham and Rich are going basically rep for rep. But you just see how calm Rich is all the time. He just doesn't ever panic. Went back, got a little chalk for his hands, came back up, no problem. We'll see what happens on the lunges.
Rich Froning certainly doesn't need to beat anybody here. He just has to have a solid finish, just keep himself in first place and just avoid a total disaster, which you never see from him. Meanwhile, Dan Bailey with 4 reps to go now on the shoulder to overhead as we approach the 6-minute mark. The world record, 8:11, belongs to Josh Bridges, but for how much longer is the question. Now, Rich Froning on his final set of 10.
Dan needs to get going here. You know, Rich probably, I'm assuming Rich is going to put that bar down, so Dan's going to have to go unbroken on these lunges. Take a quick breath and get moving.
So Bailey will be able to start his lunges now, and Rich Froning is close to starting his 90-foot lunge as well. So Dan Bailey looking for his first win of the competition, but he's going to have to hold off the 2-time defending Games champion to do it. And now Graham Holmberg, the 2010 Games champion, is gaining ground as well. Bailey is off now on his 90-foot lunge. Froning with 1 more rep to go, and he racks it immediately and starts off on his 90-foot lunge.
Look at the difference in how they're lunging. Dan Bailey, even though he's out in front, he's stopping at the top. Rich was actually stepping all the way through, so Rich could definitely catch him if he keeps doing that. Dan has to keep stepping all the way through to make up that distance.
This capacity crowd is on its feet as Dan Bailey and Rich Froning are trying to chase down another event record. 7 minutes have gone by. The event record is 8:11, and Dan Bailey has the bar down. And here comes Rich Froning. Rich Froning has now moved into first place, and Rich Froning has his sights on the 3rd event record. He has yet to put the bar down. The time to beat, no problem. The event record in serious danger as Rich Froning is threatening to knock off Josh Bridges from the top spot. He could take a break here, re-rack the way to do it. It's the event record hat trick for Rich Froning.
Unbelievable.
7:36. Now Dan Bailey trying to wrap up a 2nd place finish, being cheered on by Froning, who looks like he just went out for a light jog.
You know, it's a good thing that Rich is such a nice guy, because he's so good that it still feels good when after he crushes the workout, then comes out and cheers you on like that.
That last lunge won't count for Bailey. He had to keep it in the rack position. Now Holmberg is past the halfway point. Bailey with 1 more to go before he closes it out. Bailey is done, and he will lock up a 2nd place finish and hang on to 2nd place overall. Dan Bailey unofficially a time of 8:15. And now it's Gerald Sasser who is passing up Graham Holmberg. Sasser, one of the men on the outside looking in, came in 5th place overall with 29 points, 7 back of Scott Panchik.
Right there, Nick Forey, he just made that big stance across Graham Holmberg, and that's exactly what he needed. He was sitting in 6th place with 34 points. This is going to do great things for his standing. He wants to get to that podium. He doesn't have to worry about, is there going to be an extra spot? He wants that top 3, and this is exactly what he needs to do to get in there.
But Nick Forey, not Gerald Sasser in the red shorts. Nick Forey now was in 6th overall. He was 12 points back, so he's helping his cause. And we're setting ourselves up for a scramble at the end in Event 7 as Graham Holmberg getting ready to come across the finish line. Holmberg, another man trying to work his way into the top 3. Holmberg unofficially a time of 9:21. Nick Forey was in at 9:06, and now it's Marcus Hendren on the left and Scott Panchik on the right. Step for step here. Hendren a slight lead, chewing up real estate. Hendren is across. Marcus Hendren, another man trying to work his way up the leaderboard to get back to the games. Panchik has the bar down. He is in.
That right there was the battle. Scott Panchik is currently sitting in 3rd place. Marcus Hendren needed that. That was huge for him.
And now Joe Weigel getting back onto the bar. He is currently in the lead among the men who are still on the floor, but it's Will Morad in lane 11 starting to gain ground on him. Weigel Weigel trying to see where Morad is. He saw Sparrow look to his left. Morad's just over his left shoulder. Now Morad has the bar down. Weigel probably heard that. Now he took a look to his right. We're in lane 1. It's Matt Hewitt trying to finish up. But Matt Hewitt has the bar down, so now it should be smooth sailing for Joe Weigel to come across the finish line and beat out the rest of the competitors on the floor. Weigel with one more step to go. That will count. And Weigel is in. 10 minutes, 37 seconds for Weigel.
You know, this heat was so fast overall that it seems like these guys right here are actually going slow, and they're not. You compare this heat to all the other regions, and these times are smashing other times.
Here comes Matt Hewitt across the finish line. He is in, and now 23-year-old Gerald Sasser is the closest man to finishing. Graham Holmberg is out there cheering him on. Sasser came in 5th place overall. Needed a good showing here in order to move up the leaderboard. Had to beat some of the men who have already finished in this heat. So Sasser lunging his way towards the finish line.
Yeah, Gerald really needed to have a much better showing in this. You can tell how wrecked he is. You know, again, even though he's a real strong character, this has been a big weekend. It does a lot of damage, so you think in practice you would have done really, really well, but guess what? Competition stage is a whole different ballgame.
Rich Froning and Graham Holmberg, the past 3 games champions. Holmberg back-to-back, Froning back-to-back, then Holmberg in 2010. And now it's Gerald Sasser coming across the finish line. Sasser stepping on his pad and closing out his event in 11:57. So Rich Froning has set 3 event records this weekend, and he's won 4 events and has yet to finish outside of the top 5. Just business as usual for Rich Froning.
You want to talk about fitness, it doesn't matter what's thrown at this guy. He just crushes it with complete calmness. I mean, look how relaxed he is.
Tristan Moore finishing up. And now Dave Ulmer, the only man left on the floor. Ulmer still working through his shoulder to overhead. We still have about 2.5 minutes to go before we hit the time cap. Now every competitor making his way back down the floor to cheer on that man, Dave Ulmer.
You know, Dave's had a great showing so far this weekend. It's great for any of these athletes to be able to be in this heat with the virtual who's who in the CrossFit realm. So strong work on Dave. Obviously, he's not feeling real particularly great right now, but he has been doing great overall this whole weekend. One more event after this for him, and you know what? I think he's got a little chance to celebrate anyway.
Find me another sport where you see this, where fellow competitors stay on the floor to not only cheer on a guy they're competing against, but also coach him, and then also when you hear the fans cheering as loud for the last place finisher as they do for the first.
It's the greatest thing ever. You're not going to find that anywhere.
You don't see Tom Brady walking out on the field and say, "Hey, Peyton, I think we got to read the defense this way." This doesn't happen. That's what makes this sport so great. Defending champion Rich Froning in Ulmer's space, trying to encourage him here, trying to get him through that last 45 feet here of the 90-foot lunge. 1 minute to go before we hit the 15-minute time cap.
I mean, what a cool thing to have the champ come up and coach you through an event like this. I mean, you can't buy this kind of thing in any other sport anywhere. I've been in a lot of sports. All the ones I want to do was beat the guy up. So it's nice when you hear everyone gets a high five all the way through the workout.
Now it's Dan Bailey's turn to coach Dave Ulmer. Ulmer with 40 seconds left, and this crowd is still on its feet, cheering him on here to try to get across the finish line. He has 30 seconds to do it, and Ulmer now looking like he's getting into a bit of a rhythm on these lunges.
He sees that finish line. He just wants to get to the end now. He's got to keep it up. Look at that. That's great. Dan Bailey firing up the crowd to get him in.
Here comes Dave Ulmer, and it looks like he will make it across the finish line inside the time cap. The bar is down, so every man in the final heat finishes event 6 inside the 15-minute time cap. And Dave Ulmer did it with the fittest cheerleading squad in history at his side. So your top three finishers, it's Rich Froning with yet another event record. Dan Bailey does some solid work with a second place finish, and it's Nick Forey finishing in third, and Forey came out of nowhere.
He did exactly what he needed to do. He was so strong on those lunges, and for his placement, that is really going to help him.
Second place, Dan Bailey had a blistering pace on the overhead or the handstand push-ups, and then on the toes to bar.
You know, again, we thought he was going to do really well here. Wasn't as strong on the lunges as I thought he was going to be, but wow, even his time in his second place time was unbelievable.
And then in first place, just a stone-cold assassin here, Rich Froning.
I don't know, he just looks, he's got something going on. Whatever he's doing it right, because it's virtually perfect.
Froning strolling his way to yet another event record. So the defending champion with the event record hat trick. We still have one event to go. We'll hear from the champ when we come back.
Get it, baby. Rule season. Beach season. Coming for you, Rich, baby. You don't even know, baby. I go so hard. All day long, I'm in your face. You don't even know. Repeat my ass. That's that same side. Come on, that's it, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. These things are made of. Anti-titanium? Give me a coconut water down here? I need a little protein or something. The heck, bro? You gotta tell me when you're coming tight like that. You said medium. Bush League. Load it up. Oh, funky butt loving. You know what? I've had enough. Jeez. Oh, let's do this right.
Back at the Ohio Expo Center, well, this capacity crowd in Columbus has just witnessed Rich Froning set another event record. And Bill, you said it, anything that is thrown at this man, he handles, and he handles it unbelievably.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about fitness, and we're trying to find the fittest man on the planet, and he's showing that, wow, he's going to be really, really tough to beat. It's tough when you have a sport or an event where everyone's gunning for second because first is basically tied up.
Well, Rich Froning right now has a stranglehold on the top spot of the leaderboard. Dan Bailey sits in second place, and it's Scott Panchik in third. But still, plenty of men behind them in contention for two of those three spots. Let's send it down to Emily Turner, who's standing by with Rich Froning.
Thanks so much, Sean. All right, Sandy, you're a two-time games champion. You've now set a third event record, but you weren't the first person off of the first few movements. How did you manage to win and still beat the record?
It's all strategy. I mean, everybody says fitness isn't, or CrossFit's not a sport, but there's a sport to it. So, you know, I knew what movements were going to be good for. Like, I knew the shoulder overhead, if I could catch my breath and keep, you know, or recover enough to where I could make the shoulder overhead in the least amount of sets as I needed. And then I waited. I did a set of 9, so I didn't have to clean it up again to go into the lunge. And then it's always nice to have a little rabbit to chase like Dan Bailey. So luckily he was in front of me, and when he put it down, that just kind of fueled me. Everybody cheering and going nuts. Couldn't disappoint, so I had to keep going.
All right, so Dan Bailey, apparently a nice little rabbit to chase. As a 2-time games champion, you've set all of these records. What is it that you're saying to these guys who you're watching duke it out for these last few spots on the podium?
It's just, I mean, we're all coaches first, really. I mean, we started out as coaches before we were athletes, most of us, you know, in CrossFit. So it's you're just coaching people, doing what we love to do, like to see other people perform. So it's easy for me to tell somebody to pick it up, even though they don't want to. I'm finished. It's easier for me. So.
Fantastic. Well, good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thanks, Emily. Rich Froning, another event record. We'll see you later. It's time for the finale at the Ohio Expo Center. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler, the 4th and final heat of the last event of the weekend. And Bill, it features a who's who of CrossFit athletes.
That's absolutely true. It's going to be amazing to see what comes out of this heat. We've been waiting for this. Everyone's been talking about it all season long, and let's see what happens.
Rich Froning has 3 event records so far. Can he get another one here?
You know, if there's a guy that can, he's going to be the one to do it. We'll see what happens, but he's definitely, people are looking at this one for sure.
The new event record was actually just set in the Mid-Atlantic region. It's 4 minutes, 5 seconds. That was done by Steve Pinkerton. So Froning and his fellow competitors trying to chase that number down.
In lane 12 from CrossFit 061, currently in 12th place, CrossFit Games veteran Nick Urankar. In lane 1 from CrossFit Future, currently in 11th place, Tristan Moore. In lane 11, from CrossFit Faith, currently in 10th place overall, Matt in the hundreds, first on the chipper, your 2011-2012 champion, Rich Froning.
Your starting grid for the final heat of the last event of the weekend, and there is a battle for third place between Scott Panchik, Graham Holmberg, and then a battle for fourth and fifth between Nick Forey and Marcus Hendren. Event 7, 2 movements, rope climbs and squat cleans, and I doubt that any of these men are going to have trouble with this weight.
No, the weight's not going to be an issue, but real interesting, 2011, we did a rope climb and a clean and jerk, ascending and descending ladder, and guess who won that one? Rich Froning.
I'm not shocked by that.
So we may see that again here.
The time to beat today belongs to Ken Batistin. He did that in 4 minutes, 22 seconds. The new event record was set today in the Mid-Atlantic region. Steve Pinkerton, 4 minutes, 5 seconds. Froning has 3 event records. We'll see if he can get 4.
3, 2, 1, go!
The final heat, the final event of the weekend here in the Central East Regional, and Rich Froning securely in first place. Now the question is, can he rack up yet another event record? Marcus Hendren, Graham Holmberg, Scott Panchik, Dan Bailey, and everybody else now done with their initial 2 rope climbs.
Well, just as always, Rich Froning comes out extremely relaxed. Actually sat down, was almost the last person off of those ropes. And he's even doing these not touching go, but breaking them up. So he's conserving a little bit of energy. Not that he's under pressure right now, really. But it's always interesting. He's so smart about his strategy. But wow.
Marcus Hendren, the first man done. Now Hendren needs to do some work here if he wants to get himself back into the games. There are a lot of different scenarios that can get him there, a couple different ones, but if he wins, he's certainly going to help that. Graham Holmberg is really the key guy here. He currently sits in 4th. And because Rich Froning is a former champion in the top 3, if a former champion finishes in the top 3, he cannot take a qualifying spot. So right now, there are 4 spots available because Rich Froning is in the top 3. If Holmberg works his way into the top 3, that would open up 2 more. So now 5 men would go.
Now look at what Marcus Hendren is doing. We knew coming out of that deadlift box jump event that he could do a sprint with heavy movement just like this. And that's exactly what this is. He had a great overhead squat also, so he was cleaning heavy weights up. So he is moving and doing exactly what he needs to do, and he cannot slow down at this point.
Marcus Hendren is your leader now. The event record, Steve Pinkerton, 4 minutes, 5 seconds. Hendren right to the rope to start his 3rd round. Marcus with 1 first place finish, and he did that in event 5. And now he's heading towards his 2nd win if he can keep this pace. Next to him is Graham Holmberg, who's currently in 2nd place along with Gerald Sasser and Scott Panchik.
He needs to keep this pace. I'll tell you what, he's a farm boy, and he knows hard work, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do right now and not shut down. He needs to show his family, hey, you know what? This is what I do. I am a CrossFit. I'm going to make this happen.
Hendren now on his 3rd round of squat cleans at 225 pounds. Graham Holmberg in the gray shirt, Scott Panchik in the blue, also back to the barbell as well. And now Rich Froning, he doesn't need to win. He's already going to go to the games again and win his region. Just doing steady work here.
He's just doing what he needs to do right now. I mean, the person who watches Marcus Hendren, and he is on fire. He needs to keep moving. He's got 1 round left, and he's looking so smooth and so strong right now.
Marcus Hendren in the yellow shirt is your overall leader, and now Graham Holmberg, Scott Panchik, and Gerald Sasser all making their way back down for their final round of rope climbs. And now it's Hendren with 1 rope climb to go, and he has a minute before we hit the event record time that was just set by Steve Pinkerton in the Mid-Atlantic. The time to beat, we'll mention it, Ken Batistin, 4:22.6.
Wow.
But you can kiss that one goodbye. Here comes Marcus Hendren. 3 minutes, 21 seconds have gone by. The time to beat in your upper left-hand corner of your screen. That is going to be beaten easily. Now the question is, will Marcus Hendren set an event record here?
He doesn't even look winded right now. He looks so strong. Each one of those reps looks like it's only 135 pounds for him.
Graham Holmberg is currently in 2nd place. That will help out Marcus Hendren. Hendren on the left of your screen in the yellow, and Marcus
of the top events people were doing, I did not think it'd be blown that bad. He was so fast and so strong through that entire event.
Scott Panchik finishes well. Rich Froning just edged out Graham Holmberg. So now we're going to have to see where this leaderboard plays out. Because right now, with Holmberg sitting in 4th place, Marcus Hendren would be on the outside looking in. If Holmberg is able to leapfrog Panchik, which it doesn't look like he will, Hendren may not make it back to the games.
There's a lot of higher math that has to go on right now to see all the what-ifs. I tell you, these guys are shuffling around, but that, I mean, Marcus Hendren had to make his move, and that was the move he needed to make. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Tristan Moore played baseball at Wright State and was actually the Horizon League Player of the Year in 2012, finishing up his event. Tristan Moore is in, so now Matt Hewitt and Will Morad, the only athletes left. So the top two coming in, Rich Froning and Dan Bailey. And now Marcus Hendren gets his 2nd win, and he does it in style, setting a record. So Steve Pinkerton in the Mid-Atlantic region had that record for about an hour.
Wow. I'll tell you what, overall, that was an impressive heat. Their times were so fast. So fast overall, to me, just worldwide even.
And now the world's fittest cheerleading squad moving over to encourage Will Morad, who has 4 squat cleans left. He's the only athlete left, and everyone over there cheering him on, led by 2-time defending CrossFit Games champion Rich Froning. Morad now with 3 reps to go. 10-minute time cap here.
How can you not keep going when Rich Froning is telling you to pick up the bar and go? That's almost like your dad telling you to go.
I'd probably find a way. 2 more reps to go for Will Morad as we close out the final heat of the final event here at the 2013 Central East Regional Competition. The crowd still on their feet as they cheer home Will Morad, his final rep.
Nice job. Nice job.
Getting congratulations from Rich Froning, and he closes out in 6 minutes, 32 seconds. Congratulations all around. Marcus Hendren sets an event record, but may not have done enough to get himself into the CrossFit Games. Hendren with the victory and a new event record. Scott Panchik would have also beaten the record as well. That's the 2nd time that's happened this weekend.
Yep.
And then Rich Froning closing out his competition with a 3rd place finish, 4:07. So Froning never finishing outside of the top 5 this weekend. Dan Bailey and Graham Holmberg in 3rd place. He just had to do some steady work here, Rich.
He just had some good work, but look, he looked over and saw where Graham was and snuck on in there. He's smart. He's smart.
And then in 2nd place, Scott Panchik.
You know, Scott, he just had an unbelievable year. Did great this entire event, this entire weekend. Definitely a stud and someone to look out for.
And then 1st place, did all he could, but will it be enough? Marcus Hendren, event record and the win.
Yeah, it's all about doing a little math right now. He did exactly what he needed to do. It's great to come off and get an event record like that as well, but you know what, that was exactly what he needed.
So we will wait and see how the overall leaderboard plays out. We're waiting on the final standings, but that man, Rich Froning Jr., sending a message to the rest of the CrossFit world that he is going to be tough to dethrone.
You know, just overall, this region has been so impressive. Basically, if you didn't get one of those gold or silver tickets, you should have come here and said it, because I mean, it's virtually a who's who, you know, within the CrossFit realm, within the CrossFit competitors.
Marcus Hendren will have to sit and wait and find out how the leaderboard plays out. We will have that for you when we come back at the 2013 Central East Regional. These fans were treated to an unbelievable competition. Bill, it's deja vu all over again. 5 men went last year. 5 men are going this year.
Battle Royale. I'll tell you what, you know, when you have that many good athletes, the games it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This is such a strong region, and man, that's all I can say is wow.
Froning, Panchik, Bailey, Holmberg, and Hendren going to Carson. Let's go down to Emily Turner on the competition floor with the 5 men who will represent this region at the games.
All right, you know what? Right now, there are a lot of people who would like to be in my shoes, surrounded by these fantastic athletes. Scott, you held on to third throughout the weekend. Was this a battle? Where was this battle won for you?
All heart. Comes right here. You got to be able to just take the pain and keep rolling with the punches. You're going to hit adversity in every workout, and you just got to fight through it.
All right, Dan, in second place, you know coming into this regional, it's going to be a dogfight from the beginning. How do you set a pace for something like this?
You just go hard in every event. When you're in a regional like this, with the talent that's up here and then the next, 5 places below it or right up there in any other region, you just got to go hard, give it your best, and compete every workout. It was a war all weekend long. I'm pretty sure one of these guys bumped me down a little bit on that workout, but had a great time, excited to be going back to the games, so it was a great weekend for me.
Fantastic job, and speaking of the best, Rich, another win for this region, headed to the games yet again. What is between here and a podium for you in Carson?
6-7 weeks of hard work. Get back to work tomorrow and no off days, I guess. Just time to get ready, time to keep going.
And congratulations. Good luck in Carson again. Speaking of Games champions, we've got a former Games champion right here. Graham Holberg, fantastic job. You knew that you have all of these guys who are out for these podium spots.
Sure.
How does that play into your weekend?
Obviously, like you just said, I'm out for a podium spot as well. It's a fortune and a misfortune to be in one of the hardest regions, stacked with such good guys and competition. It helps me perform to my best as well. I got my spot to go to the games. Honestly, I'm not pleased being in fourth, but it's a lesson, and I got challenged and pushed this weekend, which was, it was to be expected. So happy to be going back to the games and representing again, and hopefully things shake out a little different in a month.
Great job, Graham. And Marcus, boy, not only was that last event a fantastic performance from you, but you've got by the skin of your teeth. What kind of sacrifices did you have to make from last year to this year to be going back to Carson?
I quit my job on the farm. Left the family farm, started working out full time, training people 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I pretty much dedicated the whole last year to this. And like you said, by the skin of my teeth on the last event, got it done.
Well, congratulations. Good luck between now and then. Sean, back to you.
Thank you, Emily. Marcus Hendren sets an event record and is on his way to the CrossFit Games.